Hey Terry, you hear me?
Hello.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by.
You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Give me 1 second. Let me see. There we go. Make sure. Perfect. No, I had to do it myself. I couldn't look bad today.
I told Craig this morning I even put on a collared shirt for you today.
Look, I buttoned up all the way to the top. It's great seeing you, man. Thank you so much for stopping by, and this is really the first TIACA Trustee interview that I've been doing. We did one in the past with a couple of the board members, but this is going to be something that we're rolling out just for the trustees. And why not start with probably one of my favorite ones? So thank you for joining. And that's not just a mustache crush that I have. It's I thank you honestly. When I started back in 2015, Craig and you were probably the most welcoming of members. So I appreciate that. You guys have a soft spot in my heart.
Well, thank you. That's a nice place to be. I appreciate that.
No problem, Terry. And let me tell you. Let me ask you something. When did you start with Collins Aerospace? You guys have been a member since 1994. So
yeah,
30 years, way before my time.
We've been members of TIACA since 1994. I personally started with Collins back in 1986. So I've been with Collins 34 years. Been in the industry. Back when I started, we weren't called Collins, obviously. I've been with the company 34 years. In those 34, I've never left my office, but I've worked for 9 different companies. When I started, Collins was then called B Corps Western. And we were primarily a build-to-print military defense supplier. And we were just getting our feet into the cargo industry at that point.
That's amazing. Just to put you, to give you some perspective, I am 34 years old, Terry.
Okay.
I was born in '85, so I'm as old as your career. That says a lot, you know. I'm walking in some big shoes.
Okay. Well, now you know where the white hair comes from.
I see it, man. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to some whiteness in my own. And let me ask you something. In 34 years, what would you say has been the highlight? I mean, if you could pick something or something that really, you know, you always think back with fondness. I mean, 34 years is a long time.
I've been in the contract program management, project management, business development. I've rotated in and out of each one of those functions since 1991. Prior to that, I worked in machine shop, worked my way up through the system within Collins. The highlight, I think, would have to be of my career that stands out was the opportunity that I had to live in Germany, starting in 2002 through 2005, during the development of the A380, for which we provide the lower deck cargo loading system. I was a liaison between Collins. At that time, we were, what were we? I believe we were Lucas Verity. We started out with Lucas Verity, and when we ended that development phase, we were then turned into Goodrich. But yeah, I had the opportunity. I lived, I had an office on the Airbus campus in Bremen and had open access. I lived, like I said, for that number of years from 2002 to 2005 in Germany. And that was definitely the highlight of my career.
And let me ask you something. Do you often go back? Is that where you got the mustache? Because now that you say that, it does look very Oktoberfestish, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of that comes by heritage. You can't get much more German than I am. Schulz, of course, is German, and my heritage is 100% German. So yeah, no, I had the mustache. That's I think I had the mustache when I was born.
And let me ask you, have you been going to the Munich shows? Is that close to your heart? Since
You know,
you have a high nationality now.
I have not been to the Munich shows. Just the opportunity just hasn't come to play. Most of my exposure to Germany has been Bremen and Hamburg. Some Frankfurt, southern Germany, into the Speyer area. When we first started with Airbus, we were partnered with PFW out of Speyer, Germany, and we started on the A340-500-600 aircraft.
Well, we got to get a petition to get you out to Air Cargo Europe next year, because there's nobody I'd rather have some Wiener Schnitzel and wear my lederhosen with than wearing it next to you. Honestly, it has to be some kind of a crush. I have something here that I could probably show you here. This is my my screensaver, actually, right here. You can see that there. That's my screensaver, Terry.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I haven't washed that elbow in years. It's something that I look forward to every morning when I open my computer.
That's great. That's great. The Budapest event was a remarkable event. I think that was a turning point for TIACA. I really do.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, honestly, it was very. I felt like everybody was able to accomplish what they wanted to there. You know, there was no hustle and bustle that you usually get at these other events. The host, Budapest Airport, did a great job. I'm so happy that you were able to enjoy that with us. Honestly, it was one of the highlights of my short career at TIACA as well.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I think that I think TIACA is a great organization. Obviously, we've been members since 1994, and I think that the direction that we're now heading is super. I just can't commend the leadership of TIACA enough.
I appreciate that, Terry. I'm going to let Steven and the team know that. I'm sure they love hearing that. And thank you again for joining our webinar that was for the trustee members only. We appreciate all the input you gave us there, and we're striving to keep, you know, to exceed your expectations and the expectations of all our members, of course. And let me ask you something, Terry. What would you say are the advantages that Collins Aerospace has when compared to, you know, other competitors and other aircraft system manufacturers? I know I have to shift from
products that we have to offer.
Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It is. It being part of the Collins Aerospace machine, if you will, is really a huge advantage when you're talking to customers, potential partners. We have such a wide array of products that, you know, of course, my specialty is cargo and things associated with cargo, but there's a lot of components that are closely related that we don't have access to in Jamestown, but we certainly, because of the wide array of products, we certainly have access to experts who do. And that's one of the nice things when we're out visiting, when we're making our relationships, we can get you hooked up with virtually any portion of the aircraft.
And let me ask you something, Terry. When you come to the events, I'm sorry, there was a little bit of lag there. Go ahead and repeat what you just said.
Just the broad array of products that are available as being part of Collins Aerospace. As I said, my specialty in Jamestown, North Dakota, is cargo systems. We provide cargo systems for Boeing, Airbus, military, rotorcraft. That's what we do, is cargo systems. So when we're out talking to the customers, when we're visiting, when we're making relationships, they may be interested in cargo, but they may have other interests as well. And as part of the Collins machine, the huge infrastructure of Collins Aerospace, we have access to those experts that they may need to talk to, or that they may find value in talking to. And that's the wonderful part about being with Collins Aerospace.
And Terry, let me ask you, could you name off, give me an example of a few customers, you know, maybe I could make a push to get them to the next ACF, you know, people who you might want to see, you know?
Oh, One second, please.
That's a customer right there. You got to get that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Airbus, EFW, Elba Flugzeugwerke, they are very, very important customers of ours. Boeing, huge customers for us.
I mean, I don't know if you know, but all three are TIACA members, so maybe we can get a little meeting going down, some cafecito, when you guys are here.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. Would love that.
Absolutely, man. And that's what I like to do at my job is always make sure that you are a member, that you get all your T's crossed when you come to the events, or even when you're at your office and you're looking to connect with somebody. I'm always looking forward to connecting members with each other or non-members. If I have somebody from the industry that I can help out, that's basically what I'm here for. Okay, so I want you to know that, and you know it already. I mean, we've done this several times, so you can count on my support.
That's beautiful.
And let me ask you something, Terry. Oh, we're having a little bit of lag.
That's okay. That's the importance of being part of a group like TIACA, is the services that you bring, the accessibility to customers, to potential clients, and to the needs of the industry. It's a wonderful thing.
And let me ask you, Terry, if there's anything that you can think of right now that TIACA can improve on, or assist Collins Aerospace with, is there anything that comes to mind that you think that we could be doing a little better?
Well, I think your new direction that you're taking is going to work wonders going down that path. I think the improvements that you're making to your portal that Stephen talked about, I think is going to be huge. I think the flexibility, let's face it, I've been in the industry for 34 years. I'm kind of regimented. We have a whole new generation. I'm talking to one right now that have different needs, that need the flexibility, that are more information orientated. I think that just by being more flexible and less rigid, as I've witnessed in the past, I think is going to take TIACA a long ways. And just that in itself will create new paths for value to the current and potential members.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Those points are well noted, and we will put it in our gas tank. All right, that's all the fuel we need. And I'm not going to try to take too much more of your time. If I could ask you one more thing, it would be if you were to tell your 25-year-old self, or your 20-year-old self, or the younger self that you were when you came into the industry, you were to give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to open your kimono, as we say, and bare your soul and ask questions. One of the inhibitions that I had was I thought some of my questions might be dumb. So I kind of withheld from asking a lot of questions. I would offer that to the TIACA members current and future. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. And because, again, the beautiful part of TIACA is there's lots of people that are involved that do know, and might be surprised that you might ask a silly question, or what seems to be a silly question that might be thought-provoking to somebody else, and who knows where that would go. So don't be afraid to ask questions and explore on things you don't know. Thank
you, Terry. Thank you. And you know what? Honestly, in the industry, you see a lot of that when you go to events. There's like a lot of apprehension, whether it's from a sales point of view or whatever kind of inquiry. People are always thinking, no, they're too busy. No, they're always mentally creating blocks and making it more difficult on themselves than what it is. And honestly, it's just a conversation. And we all get butterflies, and that's a great point. We need to ask the questions that we don't know instead of acting like we know, or just ignoring the fact that we don't know. Exactly. Exactly. Ken, a beer helps with that too. Beer helps with that. Right. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's why Stephen is so good at answering questions, to be honest. Just runs his blood for some reason. Probably yours too. Terry, thank you so much for being with us today. This is very special, very special. I hope you can sit with us again in November. Hopefully we have it. The beaches just started opening up. It's looking nice. I know there's a couple of spikes, but God willing, we're going to deal with this and we're going to see each other in November. And if not, 2021 is just around the corner. I hear, you know, all the bad things that are happening. I think that we need to keep our optimism high. You're one of the people who's always positive, no matter what. You see the glass half full, and honestly, it's a pleasure serving you, serving Craig, and the Collins Aerospace team. And thank you once again for joining us.
You're welcome, Ken. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
Okay.
All the best.
Bye-bye.